Hello all, welcome to the new lecture of number theory. In this lecture, we will discuss about the section 2.2, the division algorithm. Okay, the first theorem is given integers a and b with b greater than 0, then there exists unique integers q and r satisfying a is equal to bq plus r, comma 0 less than or equal to r less than b. The integers q and r are called respectively the quotient and the remainder in the division of a and b. That means the theorem states that when an integer a is divided by a positive integer b, then there will exist unique integers q and r such that a is equal to bq plus r with the property that the value of r is lies in between 0 and which is strictly less than b, or 0 less than or equal to r less than b. The number q is called quotient and the r is called remainder in the division. Okay, so for proving this theorem, which is known as the division algorithm, first of all, we use the well ordering principle, or we use this theorem by the tool well ordering principle. Well ordering principle says that for a non-empty set of non-negative integers, any non-empty set of non-negative integers has a least element. So in order to apply the well ordering principle, first of all we need a set. So let's make a set S which contains elements of the form a minus xb, elements of the form a minus xb, where x is an integer and a minus xb, the number a minus xb is greater than or equal to 0. So S is a set of all elements of the form a minus xb such that a minus xb is non-negative where x is an integer. So in order to apply the well ordering principle for this set, the first condition, that is the set of elements, S is a set of non-negative elements, and one more thing we need to prove is, or we need to show that S is non-empty, then only we can apply the well ordering principle. For that we consider B. From the theorem itself, it is clear that b is greater than 0. That means b is a positive integer, so it is greater than or equal to 1. So let's multiply with mod a on both sides. So we have mod a into b is greater than or equal to mod a. Okay. And so we consider the number a minus mod a into b. Okay, when mod A into B is greater than or equal to mod A, we can have multiplying with minus 1, minus mod A into B is less than or equal to minus mod A. Okay. So we have A minus in bracket minus mod A into B, which can be written as A plus mod A into B, and mod A into B, or mod A, so no need of writing this one. Mod A into B is greater than or equal to mod A. So applying that inequality, we have A plus mod A into B is greater than or equal to A plus mod A. And a plus mod a, we can, when a is negative or positive, any value, when a is negative this will be 0, and when a is positive this will be equal to 2a, which is greater than, so we can write in general it is greater than or equal to 0. So what we obtained is the element a minus mod a into b, minus mod a into b is greater than or equal to 0. Now consider this element a minus mod a into b, which is an element of the form a minus xb, where x is equal to, when we take x as minus mod a. So we can say that this element a plus mod a into b belong to S. So S is non-empty and S contains set of non-negative integers. S is a set of non-negative integers, or in total S is a non-empty set of non-negative integers. So by well ordering principle we can say that S has a least element. Let it be R. So S is the least element. S contains a least element R. Since R belongs to S, we can write R as A minus some integer into B. Okay, let that integer be Q. So we can write, since R is in S. By well ordering principle, we proved that S contains a least element, and we call that element as R. Now, since R belongs to S, we can say that there is an integer Q as X, such that A minus Q into B is equal to R, or R is equal to A minus Q into B. And one more thing, S is element of non-negative integers, so R is greater than or equal to 0, or 0 less than or equal to R. So we obtained R as A minus QB, or from that we can write A as QB, Q into B, or B into Q, or we can write it as A as B into Q plus R, and 0 less than or equal to R. So we proved partially. That is, we have proved that there are integers Q and R such that A is equal to BQ plus R with 0 less than or equal to R. Now we need to prove that this R is strictly less than B. Okay, for that we will prove this by contradiction, or assume that. So for proving R less than B, we assume on the contrary that R is greater than or equal to B. So when R is greater than or equal to B, R minus B will be greater than or equal to 0. Now we have R as A minus, we have taken R as A minus QB. So R minus B will be A minus QB minus B. That is A minus Q plus 1 into A minus Q plus 1 into B, which is greater than or equal to 0, since R minus B is greater than or equal to 0. Now this implies R minus B belong to S, isn't it? R minus B is an element of the form A minus XB, because R minus B is written as A minus Q plus 1 into B, where X is equal to Q plus 1. That means R, and also R minus B is greater than or equal to 0. So R minus B is in S. And we know that B is a positive integer. R is greater than or equal to 0. So R minus B should be less than R. That means R minus B is a smaller element, smaller than R, and it is in S. This contradicts the definition of R. That means we have taken R is the least element of S. Now we have obtained that there is another element R minus B which is less than R in S. So obviously it will be the least one other than R. So this will contradict, this contradiction makes us that R is strictly less than B. Okay, so we have proved that there are integers Q and R such that A is equal to BQ plus R, and 0 less than or equal to R less than B. So thus we proved the existence. But one more thing we need to prove in this theorem is that there exist, the theorem states that there exist unique integers, So now we need to prove the uniqueness of these integers Q and R. First of all, we now up to this we proved the existence part. That means there exist integers Q and R such that A is equal to BQ plus R. Now we will try to prove the uniqueness part. So for uniqueness, we have to assume that there are integers Q, Q dash, R and R dash such that A is equal to BQ plus R, which is equal to BQ dash plus R dash. Suppose A has two representations with QR and Q dash R dash, with the conditions that 0 less than or equal to R less than B, and also 0 less than or equal to r dash less than b. Now we consider the difference r dash minus r. We have r dash minus r is equal to b into, from that equations we will get that one. So bq plus r is equal to what? Bq plus r is equal to bq dash plus r dash. Now taking r to the right and bq dash to the left, we have b into q minus q dash is equal to r dash minus r. That means r dash minus r is equal to b into q minus q dash, and hence taking the modulus we can write it as mod of r dash minus r. Mod b, since b is positive, mod b is b itself. So b into mod q minus q dash. Now combining the inequalities, that means adding the inequalities, we have the two inequalities for r and r dash as 0 less than or equal to r dash less than b, and 0 less than or equal to r less than b. From that we can rewrite it as minus b less than r less than minus r less than or equal to 0. Adding these two, we have minus b is less than r dash minus r is less than b, or modulus of r dash minus r is less than b. Now what is mod of r dash minus r? Mod of r dash minus r is b into mod q minus q dash. So we can write mod b into mod q minus q dash is less than b, which yields that mod of q minus q dash is less than 1. Since b is a positive number, and we can cancel this from the inequality, b into mod q minus q dash is less than b. So cancelling b, we have obtained mod q minus q dash is less than 1. That is 0 less than or equal to mod q minus q dash less than 1. This 0 we have taken because this being the modulus, we know that modulus is always positive or equal to 0. So we can write the inequality as 0 less than or equal to mod q minus q dash is less than 1. But we know q minus q is an integer, q dash is an integer, and hence their difference will be an integer. And this inequality says that this integer is strictly less than 1 and maybe greater than or equal to 0. But there is no integer in between 0 and 1. So obviously this inequality implies that mod q minus q dash will be equal to 0. That means q is equal to q dash. Now substitute this in this one, bq plus r equal to bq dash plus r dash. Q is equal to q dash we have obtained. So substituting that, we can cancel bq and bq dash. So r is equal to r dash. We will obtain r equal to r dash. Thus we have proved the uniqueness part also. That means when an integer a is divided by a positive integer b, we can have two unique integers q and r such that a is equal to bq plus r. A can be written as b into q plus r with the property that 0 less than or equal to r, which is less than b. So the remainder, when an integer is divided by a positive number integer, the remainder obtained is always a positive or 0, and which should be less than the divisor. Always less than the divisor. Okay, so this about the division algorithm. We are using this from this very small classes onwards, but actually the theory is like this. Now we come to the corollary. So you may notice that we have considered here in the division algorithm, we have made an restriction that the number b must be positive. So we have explained this, or we have derived this theorem for b is positive. So what will happen when b is negative? There is such a question will arise, isn't it? So the corollary says for any B. So this restriction is removed for in the corollary, and it is proved that the theorem is also true for um, b less than 0 or when b is negative also. So the corollary, the statement is if a and b are integers with b not equal to 0, b is just a non-zero integer only, no need of being positive. So if a and b are integers with b not equal to 0, then there exists unique integers q and r such that a is equal to bq plus r and 0 less than or equal to r, which is less than, strictly less than mod b. Okay, since if b is negative, the remainder, we have already told that the remainder is always positive or 0. That means non-negative. So if b is negative, we can write it as 0 less than or equal to r less than b. It's not, it's absurd. So it should be less than modulus of b, which is a positive number when b is negative. Okay, so b not equal to 0 means there are two possibilities, either b is positive or b is negative. So for the positive, we have already proved the theorem. Okay, so now we consider that, or we need to prove only the case for when b is negative. Okay, so assume that b is negative. So when b is negative, we can have modulo b. Modulus of b is positive. So apply the same above theorem with the mod b. So when a is divided by the positive number mod b, we can have the exist unique integers q dash and sorry q dash and r dash. Uh, Sorry, q dash and r such that a is equal to q dash into um, mod b plus r with 0 less than or equal to r less than mod b. Okay, a is equal to q dash into mod b plus r. So when b is negative, we can have by definition of modulus function, we have modulo b. When b is negative, its value is minus b. Modulo b is equal to minus b. So substituting that in this one, we have mod b equal to minus b. So a equal to q dash into minus b plus r with 0 less than or equal to r less than mod b. That means now substitute minus q dash as q. So a is equal to bq plus r with 0 less than or equal to r less than mod b. So this proves the division algorithm when b is negative. So we have proved that it is true for any positive, any non-zero integer. Now let's discuss some illustrations. Let a is equal to 61 and b is equal to minus 7. So what will be the quotient and the remainder when 61 is divided by minus 7? So here b is negative. And one more thing, when we are doing the division, we have to consider that it's the r is either 0 or positive. So in this case, we have to consider 0 less than or equal to r less than 7. So r will be in between 0 and 7 or equal to 0. We know that 61 is not a multiple of 7. So r cannot be equal to 0. So r is not 0. So it will be a number which is strictly less than 7. So first we consider 61 is a positive number, so but we have to divide it by a negative one minus 7. So when we consider this as um, minus 7 into minus 9, this will be 63. So 63, to make it 61, we have to uh, subtract 2 from that. So 63 minus 2. So if we write 61 as minus 7 into minus 9 minus 2, in this case we can consider q as minus 9 and r will be minus 2. But this is not possible because by division algorithm we have 0 less than or equal to r less than 7. So R must be positive. So this will not be the case. So we can't consider the higher multiple than 61. So we will consider the next multiple just below 61. That is the multiple of 7, which is just below 61, is yeah, 56. So it will make 61 is equal to minus 7 into minus 8, isn't it? So it will become 56, and 56 plus 5 will make 61. Okay, now this is okay, because when we take Q as minus 8 and R as 5, we can write 61 as minus 7 into Q plus R. Okay, so where R is a number which R is equal to 5, which is strictly less than 7 and is positive. Okay, so we can write by division algorithm 61 is equal to minus 7 into minus 8 plus 5. So here quotient is minus 8, remainder is 5. Now for A equal to minus 2. So minus 2 with B as the same minus 7. So minus 2, yeah, we can write it as 1 into minus 7. Then plus we have to add, in order to make it minus 2, we have to add a plus 5. So minus 2 is equal to 1 into minus 7 plus 5. Okay, this is okay since R is positive, which is less than 7. Now for A equal to 1, we can write it as 1 is equal to 0 into minus 7 plus 1. So quotient is 0, remainder is 1 itself. So in this way, we can find the reminders. So when a number is divisible by another number R, another number B, the possibilities for the remainder will be 0, 1, 2, 3, etc. up to B minus 1. There will be B possibilities for the remainder R. Now consider b is equal to 2, or when any integer when we divide it by 2. So the possibilities for the remainder will be, so by the division algorithm, remainder will be 0 less than or equal to r, which is less than 2. So the r is an integer and the only possibilities here will be either r is 0 or r equal to 1. So when r is equal to 0, when we divide by 2, we can write a as, so we will write it as a is equal to, in general, it is 2q plus r, where r is either 0 or 1. So the possible integers are, or the integer is of the form, any integer when divided by 2, there are two possibilities for remainder. So hence the integer itself can be written as either 2q or 2q plus 1. So when we write a as 2q, we call that such integers as even numbers, and if it is of the form 2q plus 1, it's called an odd integer. So any odd integer is of the form 2q plus 1, and even integer is of the form 2q. Now if we may consider the same case with a b equal to 3. Any integer is divided by 3. So we know that 0, the remainders possible are 0, 1 and 2. So the integers will be of the form, or any integer can be written as either 3q or 3q plus 1 or 3q plus 2. Okay. The same we can have with the b equal to 4 also. That means when b equal to 4, the possible reminders are 0, 1, 2 and 3. So any integer will be is of the form. We can write any integer as of the form bq plus r, isn't it? So when r equal to 0 and q equal to 4, we will have a as 4q, and if our remainder is 1, then we can write the integer as 4q plus 1, or it is of the form 4q plus 2, or it is of the form 4q plus 3. isn't it? So these are the possibilities for any integer when divided by 4. So of these integers you may consider, you can have that any odd integer is of the form 4q plus 1 or 4q plus 3 when we talk about the division algorithm with b as 4 itself, isn't it? Since 4q and 4q plus 2 are even numbers. So the only possibility for or the only odd integers are of the form either of the form 4q plus 1 or 4q plus 3. So odd integer we can write when b is equal to 2, we can say that any odd integer is of the form 2q plus 1, or with b as 4 we can say that any odd integer is of the form 4q plus 1 or 4q plus 3, like this. Now we may consider another one, a square of an integer when with b as 2 itself. So when b equal to 2, we know that a is either 2q or 2q plus 1. Okay, 2q or 2q plus 1. Then what will be about a square? A square is when a equal to 2q, a square is 4q square, or we can write it as 4 into some integer 4k. Now when a equal to 2q plus 1, what will be its square? Then also the square is of the form 4k, or sorry, a 2q plus 1 whole square, which is expanding this we will get it as 4q square plus 4q plus 1. So this is equal to 4 into q square plus q plus 1. So when we consider q square plus q as another integer, we can have this is equal to 4k plus 1. That means we can conclude that the square of an integer leaves the remainder either 0 or 1 when divided by 4 upon division by 4. Now we may consider some problems. The first one is prove that the square of any odd integer is of the form 8k plus 1. Square of any odd integer is of the form 8k plus 1. So first of all we have to talk about the form of odd integer, then we have to consider its square, isn't it? So we have to prove that its or a square is of the form 8k plus 1. So when we consider a as or any odd integer in the form as we all already always taken in the form any odd integer means it is of the form either 2q plus 1. We are always taking that form. So when we square that we can't write it as okay. We have squared here itself. When we write this as a square, we have obtained that it is of the form 4k plus 1. That means it is not of the form 8k plus 1. So we need to take another form of the odd function. Sorry, odd integer. So we have just stated before that with b with the divisor as 4, any integer a can be written as either 4q or 4q plus 1 or 4q plus 2 or 4q plus 3. And we know it is clear that of these any odd integer is of the form either 4q plus 1 or 4q plus 3. So here we need to take this one, because when we taken the an odd integer in the form 2q plus 1, we can't get its square of the form 8k plus 1, because we just above we have mentioned that when a equal to 2q plus 1 its square will be of the form 4k plus 1. So we state the or we may by division algorithm with b as equal to 4, we can have any integer a is of the form either 4q, 4q plus 1, 4q plus 2 or 4q plus 3. Of this it is very clear that any odd integer is of the form either 4q plus 1 or 4q plus 3. Now we need to check its square in each case. So when a equal to 4q plus 1, what will be its square? And also case 2 as when a equal to 4q plus 3, what about its square? So first we consider 4 cube plus 1 square. So when a equal to 4 cube plus 1, its square is, by expanding we will get it as 16q square plus 8q plus 1. So from the first two terms we can take 8 as common. So 8 into 2q square plus q plus 1. So if we consider 2q square plus 1 as another integer k, we can have 4q plus 1 whole square is 8k plus 1. Similarly, we consider 4 cube plus 3, the odd integer 4 cube plus 3. So 4 cube plus 3 all square, when we expand it, we will get it like this. And we can write it as 8 into 2q square plus 24, we can write it as 8 into 3q. And 9 we can split it as 8 plus 1. From the first three terms we can take 8 outside. So this again is of the form 8k plus 1. That means square of any, we have proved that the square of any odd integer is of the form 8k plus 1. So in this way we have to prove the results using the division algorithm. So we have proved, this is just one application of the division algorithm. So in this way we can prove the problems like this. Now just an illustration. We just proved the result is that the square of any odd integer can be written in the form 8 into k plus 1 for some integer k. Consider the odd integer 7. What will be its square? 7 square, we know that 49. So by our result we can write 49 as 8 into k plus 1. So what will be that k? 49 we can write it as 48 plus 1, and 48 is a multiple of 8. So 8 into 6 plus 1. So for k equal to 6 we can write 7 square as 8k plus 1. This is just an illustration. Now another important problem. Show that the expression a into a square plus 2 by 3 is an integer for all a greater than or equal to 1. We have to prove that the expression a into a square by 2, a square plus 2 by 3 is an integer for all a greater than or equal to 1, isn't it? So since the expression contains in the denominator 3, we will consider the division algorithm with b equal to 3. Then only we can cancel that 3 to make this expression an integer. Okay, so when b is equal to 3, by division algorithm, any integer a greater than or equal to 1 is of the form, which are the possibilities for a, either 3q or 3q plus 1 or 3q plus 2, being according to the value of r as 0, 1 or 2, because we are dividing by 3. Okay, so now we need to prove that in each case, that means if a equal to 3q or a equal to 3q plus 1 or a equal to 3q plus 2, this expression will become an integer. That means the denominator, the 3 in the denominator will get cancelled. Okay, that we need to prove. So first of all, we consider the case 1 as a equal to 3q. When a equal to 3q, it is obvious that this expression will be an integer, because the 3 in a 3q and the denominator 3 will get cancelled easily, and so this will become an integer. Now case 2, a equal to 3q plus 1. So substitute for that a. So a means 3q plus 1, a square. A square will be 9q square plus 6q plus 1. Then plus 2 is there. So this plus 2 by 3. So from the first one, 3q plus 1, we can't take 3 outside. So 9q square plus 6q plus 3. This will become 3. So we can take 3 outside. So that denominator 3 and that 3 will get cancelled. So we will get this as an integer. Now the third case, when a equal to 3q plus 2. So the expression will be 3q plus 2 into 3q plus 2 whole square plus 2. So that will become 9q square plus 12q plus 4 plus 2, that is plus 6 will come. So from all this we can again take 3 outside in the second bracket. So cancelling that with the denominator 3, we will get another and in this case also as an integer. That means a into a square plus 2 by 3 is an integer for all a greater than or equal to 1. So these are two applications of division algorithm. So in this example, we have taken the division algorithm with b as 3. This is because the denominator contains 3. So in order to cancel that, then only the expression will become an integer. We have chosen b as 3. So in each case, we have to check. First of all, we have to analyze that the problem will be started, or how to begin the problem with which value of b, or which is the appropriate or suitable divisor to be chosen, so that we will get the we can prove the given result. Okay, so in this way you can do the problems regarding this section. These are some homeworks. The first one is show that any integer is of the form 6k plus 5 is also of the form 3j plus 2, but not conversely. Okay, so try to do this, prove this result. The second one is the square of any integer is either of the form 3k or 3k plus 1. Square of any integer is either of the form 3k or 3k plus 1. So how to choose the integer, or which number b is to be fixed, that you have to first analyze, and then things will be more easier. Next, prove that 3a square minus 1 is never a perfect square. We have to prove that the integer of the form 3a square minus 1 will not be written as some integer square. So in order to prove this result, first of all we need to prove the second one. So that the third result will be proved as a continuation of the second, because in the second case you will get a result. You will prove that square of any integer is either of the form 3k or 3k plus 1. Then you can clearly say that 3a square minus 1 is neither of the form 3k or 3k plus 1, so that this will not be a perfect square. So first of all you have to prove the result in 2, and using that result you can prove the question 3. Okay, thank you all.